All right, guys. So, as you all know, Black Lives Matter had reported some of their financials. Now, they didn't really say exactly where the money was going, but they basically said, hey, we received $90 million last year in donations, right? In response to the George Floyd incident. Okay. And a lot of people like myself was looking at this number like, bruh, y'all hiding something. Just 90 million, because there were reports that billions of dollars had been donated to Black Lives Matter related movements. Now, the main organization, which is the Black Lives Matter Global Network, they only got 90 million of that. And they bear the name, right? They have blacklivesmatter.com. It really doesn't make sense that they only got 90 million. So, to me, again, it kind of opens the door here for that long-standing conspiracy that, some of the money that Black Lives Matter is receiving is really going to the Democrats. And that BLM is just the arm of the Democrat Party and the Democrat fundraising group, right? And honestly, I'm going to stick with that narrative until proven otherwise from Black Lives Matter, right? Because even in the report that they had, I think they only spent like 20-some million, right? So there was another 66 million-ish that they haven't given an adequate explanation for how they're going to use and how they used these funds last year. On top of this, there were also reports that the chapters, right, that are supposed to be supported by the global network were not receiving any funding from the global network. So it seems to me that BLM is a front, right, and a scam for a select group of people who want to live lavishly, have interviews, get press conferences, talk a real big game about helping the black community and quote unquote black liberation, while really just making money for themselves, right? And not doing any of the things that they said they were going to do. So Michael Brown's father, who is the father of Michael Brown, who was shot and killed by Officer Darren Wilson in 2014 in Ferguson, right? That was kind of the origination of this whole Black Lives Matter movement, right? These incidents that happened back in 2014 when Barack Obama was president, which again, goes against the whole narrative that this is something that's being driven by Trump. Trump is the great race divider. That's what they say. But a lot of the BLM movement and a lot of these race riots started to happen under Obama. Okay. So Michael Brown's father is coming out and demanding some accountability. He's saying, where is the money, right? Where's the money? We want 20 million because you guys raised all this money off the backs of dead black men, which is 100% true. And you have not contributed anything to us. You have not given us nothing. Okay. So let's listen to Michael Brown, father, state his case and his beef against Black Lives Matter. And then I'll give you guys my opinion on their case here, and we'll go from there.
Greetings. I'm Tory Russell, Ferguson frontline organizer, and on the behalf of many activists in the St. Louis area, I'm joined with Mike Brown Sr., the father of Mike Brown Jr. Today, we hold Black Lives Matter accountable. The movement that is catapulted into the limelight has forgotten about Ferguson and the freedom fighters. Freedom fighters like King D. Seals, Edward Crawford, and Danye Jones have literally given their lives to the struggle, but are rarely spoken about and families are not taken care of. Brother Ali, Joshua Williams, and many other political prisoners from the Ferguson movement are incarcerated or have been and still has received no assistance from Black Lives Matter. What kind of movement are we building where we're saying Black Lives Matter, but the freedom fighters and the families are being left behind? Where is our restitution? Where is our organizing? Where is our building of a movement? We have groups like the Lost Voices and the Freedom Fighters here, and thousands of other youth activists in their 20s and 30s have been out in the streets protesting for months and months and years for years. Still forgotten. We're asking that Black Lives Matter leadership funds, $20 million to Ferguson organizations, and community foundations to do the work. We're not begging for a handout. We're coming for what we deserve. Today, as we demand the $20 million to go to Ferguson as restorative measures so we can continue what we started, here's what we'll be organizing. Annual commemorations around Mike Brown Jr.'s life, mutual aid programs, Black Panther style programs and services to meet the needs of the people, community gardens and farms, and also organizing fellowships and stipends so we can fight white supremacy full time. This is what we started in Ferguson, and this is what we will continue.
So in this little announcement, right, I was kind of with him a little bit, right? I was with him a little bit. When they said, hey, you guys have been making money off basically, again, dead black men and something that we done and we've been doing. And, we're on the ground organizing, doing our thing, and we haven't received any support. And this is the community that started it all. And I get that argument. But what lost me is when they started talking about what they would use the funds for. Right? And one of my biggest criticisms of Black Lives Matter is that they're using the funds for stuff that's not going to help the black community. Right? You guys know me. I'm big on group economics. I'm big on business. If they're not using the funds to build businesses or to help people get jobs, like have job trainings, things like that, things that are directly related to business, okay, economics, then it's a waste of money. So let me go back here and rewind what they plan on using the money for.
As restorative measures so we can continue what we started, here's what we'll be organizing. Annual commemorations around Mike Brown Jr.'s life.
Why? Annual commemorations around Mike Brown Jr.'s life. Why? You want to spend money on a show for Mike Brown Jr. And again, I'm not trying to disparage his death. Obviously, it was a tragic situation. Okay? But why is it that people want to spend money on names and gestures? That's the first thing that you named. Every year we want to celebrate Mike Brown Jr. Come on, man. And this is why I can't take this stuff serious. I would side with you, but you don't seem to be any better than Black Lives Matter because both of you guys seem that you're going to waste the money. Let's take a listen at what else they're going to spend the money on.
Mutual aid programs.
Mutual aid programs. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Black Panther style programs and services to meet the needs of the people.
Black Panther style programs to meet the needs of the people. Black Panther style services. Okay.
Community gardens and farms.
Community gardens and farms. Community gardens. Really? Okay.
And also organizing fellowships and stipends.
Organizing fellowships and stipends. Stipends for what?
So we can fight white supremacy full time.
So you can fight white supremacy full time. Oh my God, you can't make this stuff up, man. The people that's fighting against Black Lives Matter because of the misuse of money and funds are asking for these funds to turn around and misuse the funds themselves because they want to fight white supremacy. I heard nothing about small businesses. I heard nothing about job trainings. I heard nothing about skill development. $20 million. I guarantee you could open up a code school. You could open up a code school. You could probably open up maybe even some type of police academy or something like that. Some type of police academy, something that's to encourage the citizens of Ferguson to join the police force, to become police officers, so that you can police your own community, right? You have people from the community that's policing your own community, right? Which are going to create middle-class jobs and opportunities for those people. None of that. None of that is going towards things that actually make sense. It's going towards community gardens, Michael Brown memorials, Black Panther style programs, you know, a bunch of fluff. So to me, it seems that you're no different than Black Lives Matter. Both of you guys are going to waste the money. You're going to spend it on stuff that does nothing. And guys, this is my main beef with these people. I don't ever hear anything from these so-called activists about capitalism. I never hear anything about making more money. I never hear anything about economics. I don't hear none of that. All I ever hear is stuff about fluff and feelings and spending on stuff that doesn't amount to a hill of beans. But then we wonder why we always behind. Why so much money has been poured into the black community and we haven't went anywhere. It's because we're not spending the money on the right things. We're not investing the money. We're wasting the money, right? We put the money in the community and the money leaves. The money doesn't stay in the community. The money doesn't go into businesses. It doesn't go into investing in the people, into making them more productive members of society, and to bringing the neighborhood up and to bringing businesses into the neighborhood. We don't invest in that. We invest in Mike Brown memorials, George Floyd memorials, Breonna Taylor statues, twerking on Washington, art, craft, black liberation, all that nonsense that doesn't amount to nothing. And then we wonder why we not going anywhere. Why these movements never go anywhere. Because there's no capitalists running anything. All these people sound like Marxists and socialists. There's a bunch of socialists trying to put socialism into the black community. When they don't realize that, socialism requires an unlimited amount of donations. People just got to keep donating, okay? You got to keep donating. And that's why they keep pushing this race narrative. That's why they want to keep pushing this race war, because they want to implement socialism. Socialism costs. Socialism costs a whole lot of money, right? Until you run out of the money that you're taking from somebody else. And that's why we see no progress. Because none of these people are capitalists. Or at the very least, they're not thinking like capitalists. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.